So my name's Seb, I'm from a group called QUAL. We're a new group based in Brighton and Hove, youth-led pro-equality sort of activist group. We're sort of putting on an event next week, doing a debate, we're doing some homeless outreach, but what we're doing here today is trying to raise awareness about the conflict in Yemen. So what's been going on in Yemen for the past 18 months is a Saudi Arabian coalition which is backed by the United Kingdom and the US has been dropping bombs on Yemen in support of the deposed government there. But the main problem isn't that they're in support of this government, it's that they've been specifically targeting civilians, and they've been specifically targeting civilian food production as well, which is a war crime. So there's currently 12 million Yemeni people starving, which is about half of the population, and 80% of the population is in desperate need of humanitarian aid. But the Saudi coalition is actually not letting humanitarian aid groups like the UN or Amnesty International into the country to give aid to these starving people. So we give support in a lot of ways to the Saudi coalition there.
In what ways?
So we provide 50% of all of the Saudi aeroplanes, 50% of the Saudi Air Force's British planes. We've sold over $2.8 billion pounds worth of weapons to them over the past 18 months. And we also provide sort of intelligence and logistical support in terms of training their pilots as well, which is supposedly supposed to prevent the Saudis from dropping bombs from committing war crimes. We're supposed to train their pilots to know where to shoot. Clearly they're either not training them properly, or what's obviously going on is that they are specifically targeting those civilians' food stocks. So the Labour Party's Shadow Foreign Secretary Emily Thornberry, on the 23rd of October, or the 26th of October I think actually, she suggested a motion in the Commons to withdraw British support for the Saudi coalition until there's been an UN independent investigation into the war crimes there. And basically the motion failed by 90 votes. There were 100 Labour MPs that abstained from the vote, essentially voting against their party and giving their implicit support for the Saudi campaign there. And Peter Kyle was one of those MPs who abstained, so that's why we're here outside Peter Kyle's office today, protesting and trying to raise awareness about a conflict which is massively underreported in the mainstream media.
And you're doing this with your mates? It's just something that you decided to do? You made this fantastic poster? Yeah,
so we just decided that it was something that was really worth bringing to people's attention, just because the Yemeni conflict is massively underreported.
Yeah.
Very few people actually know what's going on there. Very few people are even aware of the vote that happened in Parliament. So we just thought that it would be a really good chance to raise some awareness about the conflict in Yemen, and maybe even put a little bit of pressure on Peter Kyle to start thinking about his position.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's fantastic. I didn't even notice that you were right in front of his store. That's so good.
But yeah, QUAL is the group that we're sort of here as QUAL. We called the action. We did also have some support from Brighton People's Assembly and Stop the War. They publicised the event for us as well, and we're going to be doing all sorts of other stuff in terms
go on, tell me, what kind of events are you doing?
So on Wednesday the 23rd of November, we've got a pre-QUAL question time. So similar to the normal question time format, we're going to have 6 panellists, prominent and proactive people from within the community. So we've got some councillors, some local councillors, a local homelessness activist, a local imam, people representing different parts of the community. So you're over here. We're going to be asking questions of these prominent people, sort of about subjects like the Southern Rail crisis, the homelessness crisis.
And where can we go to take part in this?
So this is going to be in the Basvic main hall on Wednesday the 23rd of November. Our doors will open at 6:30. And then beyond that, we're also looking to start setting up a homeless outreach programme, working with homeless activists within Brighton to distribute food and things like supplies and things like that. and also we want to start a campaign to try and put pressure on the council to improve council housing, because a lot of our members actually have quite a significant amount of experience of living within council housing and the problems that come with that, lack of maintenance, mould and things like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we want to raise awareness, and we also work with other groups within the community. So for example, the Brighton Soul Fed, which is the Brighton Solidarity Federation, who represent hospitality workers who are one of the most underrepresented, under-unionised groups of workers within our society. And so in terms of that, we've supported them in actions to help. There was an individual who was trying to get back £450 that she was owed from her notice period and things like that. So we've supported actions like that before as well.
God, that's amazing. And what can you tell me a little bit about this poster? What's supposed to be?
So with the poster, we were trying to go for Peter Kyle in the corner there with the Union Jack.
Peter Kyle?
Yeah. So there's a picture of him up there. It's a slight likeness.
I think it's fantastic.
Then we've got the King of Saudi Arabia as well.
Yeah.
And then down the bottom we've got some food, so some grains, some chicken, that kind of thing. British-made bombs falling on that food.
British-made bombs falling on that food.
Exactly.
What a fantastic illustration.
And then we have a starving Yemeni mother with her child as well here, who are being denied the food because obviously it's being blown up. And then beyond that as well, we've got the fist here, which is showing our opposition and our solidarity with the people of Yemen, with civilians in Yemen.
Amazing, really, really cool. And if someone listening to this interview would want to take part in what you're doing, how could they get in touch with you?
Well, did you get the leaflet there?
Yeah, it's on the leaflet.
So all of our contact information is on the leaflet. If you want to check us out on Facebook, it's Prequal. Just put in Prequal, PREQUAL. Our email is prequel.uk@gmail.com, and then we've got a WordPress website as well with information on there, which is prequelukblog.wordpress.com. So if you want to check us out and if people want to get involved, that would be really great. We hold meetings twice a week to organise, and then obviously we hold actions when we can.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to me.
No worries at all.